Try to be honest.
Oh, that was a moment. Oh, hey, we're live. Oh, hey, we're recording. Welcome, fantasy football owners of the LEG. It's a very special day here. As always, I am your host and honest Commissioner John David Brake, and we have a very special guest, two very special guests for the first time ever in LEG history. Ladies and gentlemen, Eric DeVault and Alan Nessen in the background. Alan, make sure you can see.
There I am.
He's not good enough to make the front row.
No.
Now, Eric DeVault, why did it take you so long to come on the show? What is that noise? I just keep hearing. He says, I'm here. Sorry.
Honestly, I just had better things to do. Really, I was just sitting at home, not, twiddling my thumbs watching porn. So, figured that ended in like 15 seconds. So I figured, what else am I gonna do the rest of my night?
You could be a father. All right, you have two of them.
No, the tests aren't back yet. So.
Hey, Alan Nessen.
Hey, what's up, man?
What took you so long to come on the show, buddy?
I'm usually here. You just told me I was too ugly to get on camera.
That is true. I did say that. Well, we have a very special show for you today because we are already halfway through this NFL season, as sad as that sounds. And we're handing out report cards for every single team in the league. It's this year's mid-season report card. Bum, bum, bum.
This is report card. It's a report card. When you pick the report card, it's changing red report card.
Bum, bum, bum.
We need more lasers.
I'll add stuff. Thank you for that.
Can we make all the
No, we had to bring our own sound effects.
can we make all the owners actually have to get their report card signed by their parents?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
Your dad's
Well,
gonna be.
we're gonna run down the matchups. We got some really good ones, some playoffs on the line, implications on the line. Let's go to the first matchup. 4-3, Party Like a Gronk Star, who's had a very mediocre season after completely dominating all of you chumps last year, going up against a bye week known as Joe Murdoch, who lost to James Yarnell. Let that sink in.
In a game of losers, there are no winners. So.
That's true. That's very wise of you to say that. Now, fellas, these are two different teams on very opposite directions. First of all, let's analyze last year's champion, me, and why a 5-4 start.
You're 4-3.
You're actually 4-3.
4-3.
So, that's probably why you won last year. You give yourself wins.
Bobby, there's that fuck-up you always talk about.
5-4. I'm just predicting what's probably going to happen. What do you like best about my team, Eric?
Well, you have two really good wide receivers, and Andrew Luck is playing out of his mind. That's
Yes. Number one overall fantasy point scorer in the
Turnovers.
league. He doesn't lead the league in turnovers.
He's got 9.
You just made that up. You don't even know what you're talking about.
Okay.
Speaking of dumb things, Nessen,
Hi.
why don't you tell me, Joe Murdoch is 0-7. Can you explain to the rest of owners why he is so bad this year?
No, because you only listed 4 players for each team. Not really going all that in depth when you put the 4 best players on somebody's team. But I'm going to guess that it's his 50-point leading scorer defensive player and also a 188-year-old Marshawn Lynch. Nope, because he scored 105 points already.
Yes.
So bad luck, and he's the 3rd most scored against.
That's true. Yeah.
That hurts. That never helps.
That does not bode well for him. Now, these two are going against each other this week. Is there any scenario where Joe wins this one?
Only if... No. No. He's going to be 0-8.
0-8, Nessen. Will Murdoch get a win this year?
Turmoil in the Bears locker room. Ground game coming out in Seattle rather than passing. He's got no shot.
Yes. Agreed. Unfortunately, Brandon Marshall called out Cutler, so hopefully that means he'll start throwing the ball to him. All right, I think this is, I'm going to give myself a grade B, and my grade for intentional pounding is a D-, just because I don't want to give someone an F. He showed up to the draft, and that's all I ask. Grade the two teams.
I have both. I have a B, and for the Gronk and pounding, I have a D.
Gronk and pounding.
Go together like birds and bees.
Intentional pounding, I would grade them as a D.
Oh, okay. B as in boy and D
Yeah.
for Joe. Okay, I was going to smack you across the face. Nessen,
B
Grade.
minus for Gronk.
D minus?
B.
Oh, B minus. Okay. I
What's
can't.
with you today?
And that's only in relation to other more well-drafted teams.
Fair
And
enough.
I don't care about you. I'll give him enough.
Oh my gosh.
You're
All right.
winless.
Yeah, that's true. Hopefully he'll pick up a win next week. All right, let's move on to the next matchup. Ursay's Billionaires versus First Down Syndrome. Now, Jason Servos had the benefit of having the 6th pick in the league, which put him right in the middle. And after that first draft pick, it just went all downhill from there. Tell me, do you think First Down Syndrome deserves any grade higher than a C?
I actually gave them a B because I think Flacco.
Explain.
Okay. Flacco, even though I hate to say it because Baltimore, everybody in Baltimore can rot in hell.
Whoa!
Flacco's
Brady
playing really
boy.
good, and he's got Jordy Nelson, which he's playing really well. too.
Jordy.
So I'm giving him a B.
Jordy Nelson is the overall leader for wide receivers, which is who saw that coming? He's actually 3rd overall for all wide receiver tight ends, but number 1 receiver. Number 1 receiver, Jordy Nelson.
Yeah, you're right.
That was a good pickup. Nessen,
What up?
Ursay's Billionaires.
C minus.
The beautiful John Dahlgren.
No.
What's your grade for him? C minus?
C minus.
Explain.
In life, in football, in friends, and hairstyle. He's very feminine, and when we went on your bachelor party, I think he'd like me.
You blacked out too? That's kind of weird.
Yeah, I'm a butthole.
So, 4 and 3, First Down Syndrome versus 2 and 5, Ursay's Billionaires. Ursay's Billionaires, Peyton Manning, Julian Edelman. You think he'd get some wins? Not the case. You think Joe Flacco and Jordy Nelson and Ahmad Bradshaw, who is leading the league in receiving touchdowns for running backs. Didn't see that one coming either. Who's going to win this one?
I think it's going to be First Down Syndrome. I think Billionaires, all he's got is Peyton Manning. And just like the Colts for all those years, he can't carry him the whole way.
It's true. But Dahlgren likes to carry him home passed out, apparently, from date rape drugs. That's a funny thing to talk about, date rape drugs. That's it. Who wins this one? And by how much?
I'm going to do the upset. I got Billionaires.
Woo!
Tom Brady's starting to turn it on a little bit, and Julian Edelman's going to be the target of most of those. And Peyton Manning is just Peyton Manning, and he's playing my Chargers. He's going to put up another 40 points.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, probably, easily. Yeah, he's on a lavalier, but we can't hear you. Just keep eating your spaghetti and meatballs, you pathetic piece of shit. All right, here we go. We're going to go over to the game of the week.
Game of the week.
Game of the week. 6-1 Judas Beast Mode versus the undefeated Dan Nickel. Gentlemen, do either of these teams deserve a grade lower than an A minus?
No,
No.
I have both of them at A's.
Both of them at A's. Equal.
Equal. I think looking at their top 4 players, they're even. I like both teams.
Nessen, what do you think? Grade Judas Beast Mode and then grade Dan Nickel's team.
I have Judas Beast Mode at an A, and I have Nickel at an A+.
Wow. You know, who said Dan Nickel out of the gate? I believe it was that black blob in the background that's right there.
Come on.
Sorry, it's kind of fuzzy on the screen.
It was
Thank you.
choking on meatballs.
Give him the Heimlich. He likes it from behind. Judas Beast Mode versus Dan Nickel. His nickel-to-nickel team. Now, here's where Abalash just hit a home run. He has not only the number 1 overall running back, but he also has the number 2 overall running back with his DeMarco Murray, Matt Forte. DeMarco Murray, does he get hurt this year like he always does, or does he keep the streak going and breaks Eric Dickerson's record?
I think he keeps it going. They're playing Washington, not a very good run defense. I think he keeps it going. I think it's going to be a new record.
T.Y. Hilton, also a late pick for Abby, and that turned out well. Now let's flip it over to nickel to nickel. Here's the thing that a lot of people forget. Dan Nickel has Calvin Johnson.
Why you got the plus?
He's not even in the top 4. He's been shelved with injuries and hasn't performed. Imagine if he turns it on and becomes the old Megatron. So not only does he have Calvin Johnson, but he has the 4th overall wide receiver tight end, Antonio Brown. He also has Le'Veon Bell, the number 3 running back behind Abby's 2 running backs. and Levante David, who's a top 4 defensive player. Both of these teams look strong. However, I see a lot of ifs, ands, or buts with a lot of these players, especially with Pittsburgh. If Pittsburgh does poorly, then Nickel will do poorly. And if Avalash gets an injury to DeMarco Murray, he's screwed. He's absolutely screwed. Who wins this epic matchup between a 6-1 Judas Beast Mode and 7-0 Nickel to Nickel?
Well, I don't know if it's an upset, but I'm going to go with beast mode. I think Pittsburgh's going to run an Indianapolis defense, and like you said, if Pittsburgh's offense...
What? Did you say Indianapolis defense? That's weird.
Yes, they shut out the Bengals, and
That's hard.
Pittsburgh... Well, they didn't have AJ Green, but that's all right. Yes, I'm going with Judas Beast mode. I guess it's an upset, you could call it.
Alrighty, Nessen.
I'm seeing who Avi's quarterback is.
No, well, here's why I didn't list it. He doesn't have a quarterback. He
Nick
has
Foles.
0 quarterback. It's Nick Foles.
It's boomer bust week after
yeah.
week. He's
But I
not
think he's
consistent.
top 10 quarterback this
Yeah.
year.
Usually in this league, you got to have a top-scoring quarterback, and Abalash is proving he's going against the grain, not having like 3 wide receivers, and he's winning with 2 dominating running backs, which is insane. But he does have T.Y. Hilton, which helps out big time. Who's going to win, Nessen?
Nickel.
Thank you for an insightful, in-depth report.
He's just
that.
he's got more depth. He's just better all around.
He's got a pretty solid squad. Let's go over to another. Another surprisingly solid squad and a very unsolid human being. Jack Molitor's over the Tannehill won 5 in a row after starting off 0-2. He's taking on the very disappointing and very bad luckish, injury-ridden team of Mick Barton's Sioux Girls 1 Cup. Now, I kind of skewed my grade for Mick because his top 2 draft picks are hurt, and then his top defensive player is out for the season, Paul Pelosny. I'm going to give Mick, actually I haven't given any grades yet. I gave Mick a B-. What do you guys think about Sioux Girls 1 Cup?
I give him a C. Overall picks are good, but if I were Cutler, Foster, or Tate, I'd be worried. Because if you guys are watching, be careful this week. This guy, he's bad luck.
There's some prophetic news from Eric DeVault. What do you think, Nessen?
I give
Great
him a
mixed
C.
team.
I give him a C. Jimmy Graham's going to miss a week. He's back this week. He'll be fine. So he's really just missing AJ Green. And I guess you shouldn't go with Golden Tate as your number 2 in any league, anywhere, ever.
Agreed. Kind of funny. Mick is also a C cup. That's kind of funny that you mentioned that. All right, over. Yes, very perfect. Over the Tannehill. Now listen, there's no hotter team in the league right now other than Dan Nichols' team. Jack is 3rd overall, 2nd in scoring, and get this, he has the team that scored the most points against. So despite having the top or the most points scored against him, he is still 5-2. Great Jack's team.
I gave him a B. I think he's got, I don't see any running backs on there, but Thomas and Jones, you know, you can't go wrong with either one of those wide receivers. But Thomas has to share touchdowns. So that's, he's gonna cool down a little bit.
Lately.
And Atlanta's offense is sputtering again, so you really can't count on Julio to be the top wide receiver week in and week out.
Now, when I look at Jack's roster, I see not only the number 2 receiver in the league, not only the number 3 and number 4 receiver in the league, he also has Randall Cobb, who's in the top 10.
I think he leads the league in touchdowns.
Number 7, Randall Cobb, also totally scored with J.J. Watt. J.J. Watt's a defensive lineman, and he leads all positions on defense in points, just over Luke Kuechly, who's on my squad.
He leads most running backs in touchdowns this year.
That is true.
I think he's got 3 or 4.
That is absolutely true. It pains me to do it. I gave him an A-, just because right now everything's clicking. And Nessen, is there any grade he deserves lower than that?
No, I gave him an A- also. The running joke is Tony Romo is fantasy gold. And he
It's
is
not
proving
December,
again.
Yeah, until December.
Until December.
That's fine. He still always puts up points. It's the defense that crushes him.
Well, you lose points for interceptions, though.
Nothing this week.
And you lose points for Jessica Simpson as well.
You lose like 2. And much like our douchebag owner last year, he has a 3-headed wide receiver monster that doesn't look like it's going to slow down anytime soon.
That's true. That actually did help me win. I don't think Jack's going to win this week. I am picking an upset. I think Mick
Whoa.
gets some good luck rubbed off on him, on his face, in his chest. And he wins this one in a stunning upset, beating Jack Molitor. Who's going to win this week? Agree or disagree?
I got Jack. I think Jack's team's, Jack's going to overcome.
Gross.
Jack by 30.
Jack by 30. All righty. Well, Mr. Nessen, let's talk to a team that you know best. Talk about a team you know best and a very disappointing squad. 2-5, Teenage Mutant Ninja Bortles, one of my favorite logos, by the way, versus Mr. Rogers Hood, actually a surprising output by Pat. We hadn't talked about the pre-draft projections on here, but Nessen, you were projected to go 5-8.
8-5.
Or 8-5, and Pat was projected to go 5-8. But it looks like it's the other way around. Nessen, besides everything else in life, what went wrong?
Well, the number 2 pick with Sean McCoy is a piece of garbage.
Yes.
Like most leagues, you never really want to have those coveted first picks.
I agree.
You take way too long to get more depth.
I agree.
Throw in that half of my defense ended up getting hurt before the season even started, and I am the waiver wire loser of the year.
Which, where did it hurt, or where'd you go wrong the worst in waiver wire?
I'll tell you where I went right. Kendall Wright.
Ooh!
Who somebody talked shit about again last week.
And he did an awesome job. He
Put
had an
another
awesome
20
game.
points for me.
I'm going to say he's going to have a terrible game.
That was my lucky pickup.
Kendall Wright's going to have like a 1.5 this week, Nessen. What do you think about that?
I think you're an idiot. When you have a man with such good hair as the Tennessee Titans quarterback, Charlie Whitehurst.
He does.
Isn't that Charlie Whitehurst?
It is.
And you can't, he's going to go 50%, but he's going to throw 5 60-yard touchdowns.
It's true. And Giovanni Bernard, who started off the season hot, kind of slowing down, got totally decimated by the Colts defense. I can't get used to saying that. That's so weird. By the Colts defense.
Shut out in 6 years.
Actually, Nessen probably had one of the best steal picks of the draft in Sammy Watkins. I mean, everyone knew he was a rookie, but they didn't know he would
I got
immediately
booed
make an
by
impact.
everybody on draft day because his ribs were hurt.
That's true. He did have an injury, so that was a good pick. However, it didn't translate to wins as your 2-5. I gave your team a C+. What do you give your team?
I gave myself a D. The big D.
What about you?
Make that a double D.
Oh,
A
man.
double D from DeVault. Damn, that's
I'm like
hardcore.
Nick's wife on prom night.
Mr. Rogers Hood, Pat, 8th overall, 9th in scoring, and 4th in scored against. He's actually relying on people not scoring that much against him. Projected to go 5-8 this year. He's already kind of 3-4. Probably will meet those expectations. I gave him a C+. Looks like he tried to put together the 2013 Carolina Panthers on his team.
Yeah.
What do you think about Pat's team?
I gave, the grades, I gave him a D. Wow. Other than Cam Newton, looking at the top 4, again, because you didn't put all the whole roster on here, I don't really see anything. I don't really see anything on this team.
I put the stuff that's relevant, all right? Dick, did you type it? I didn't think so, so shut your face.
I would have done a better job.
Yeah, what about you? Oh, thanks. What about you, Nessen?
I gave him a D+. I think he's getting very lucky with extra running yards from Cam Newton with all the running backs injured in Carolina. I think once those running backs come back, he's going to be losing a touchdown and 100 yards a week.
Ouch.
Which is just enough to put him right back at 5-8.
Yeah, I like Nessen this week.
I'm going to go with Nessen as well.
What about that?
Yes. Just to go against the grain.
Contrarian.
All right, and we got one final matchup. 2 last teams to grade here. It's on my left here. Eric DeVault's. I'm not gonna lie, DeVault. I thought you were a complete retard when it comes to fantasy football, and yes, after 1 year, you have proved me wrong. Well, mainly it was the Browns fandom thing that really threw me
team
off.
name doesn't help you at all with my grade.
Yeah, they did.
You lost numerous points.
I lost points for that. I went down to letter grades for that.
You and 14.8 million idiots in a state away, in a stadium that can't be filled by anything but people throwing snowballs.
My favorite
That's
part.
what you're known for.
Hey, and I will take, and dog biscuits.
No.
And dog biscuits.
No,
Dog biscuits.
I'm not even gonna give you that.
All right.
My favorite part about the preseason this year was making DeVault's logo, and he messaged me and said, hey, that's a really douchey picture of me. Can you not use that? And then I think it was Dahlgren goes, I think that's the point. I was like, yeah, that's.
I think you texted me laughing when he did that.
It was great. All right, let's talk about your team this year. 5-2, excellent start. You know, you're projected to go 5-8 this year. I don't think that's going to happen unless.
I'm just going to lose six in a row.
Well, I don't think we have that many games, so I think you're in the clear. You could probably lose 7.
I gave myself a C only because I've got no running backs. You can't rely on. Who do I have? I have a 10-inch T-Rich and.
10-inch T-Rich.
That's perfect.
I haven't heard that one yet.
And Sproles and Alfred Morris. So you really can't win. And Breeze is having an off year. So
Breeze is having an off year.
The last 3 weeks, I've won with my defense on Monday night.
Who said Breeze would have an off year, Mr. Nessen?
Nobody. He's the 10th quarterback out of 32. I don't know if you're being in the
off year for him.
Off year for him.
Season's not over.
Breeze is slowly declining.
Season's not over.
But you do have Julius Thomas, the number 2 overall tight end, who unfortunately
he's not number 1.
that is.
I
Greg
wouldn't
Olson is
believe
number
that.
1. Greg Olson is the number
Would
1
never
tight
believe
end
that.
on Pat's team.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe that either. Now Roddy White, who's also kind of not doing so well for you.
Atlanta's offense isn't doing very well, so.
But you found gold in Paul Warwillow or whatever his name. Warlow. He's
a name.
He's 3rd overall. He's the 2nd best linebacker in the league behind Luke Kuechly. Kuechly is
Give you Donald Butler.
my team. I think I was a little harsh. I gave you I gave you a B actually. I was a little too nice. What do you think, Nessen? What do you grade him?
I gave him a very disappointing and lucky started B+.
That's pretty high.
Yeah, I just tried.
What do you think of that grade?
I like it, but I wonder what Nessen was smoking before he got here.
Poll.
Whoa!
Why do they both know he was smoking?
How do you think he got here?
All right, moving right
That
along.
homeless guy was in for a treat.
Speaking of things that blows, Woolly Mammoths at 1-6 got their first win of the season.
Yay!
Good job, James. You beat the other team that can't win. Very, very good job. It's like beating on retarded 8th graders. All right, here we go. James's team, obviously not very good. Woolly Mammoths, a 1-6 team, 11th overall, last in scoring. He's the only team that hasn't scored 1,000 points this season, which is really pathetic. And here's my favorite part. Yahoo was like, hey, James is going to go 9-4. We like this squad. Unfortunately, James did have the number 1 pick, and that's pretty much like the Madden curse in my eyes. I've never seen anyone win with a number 1 pick.
Thanks.
Jamal, yeah, you had it last year.
And the year before.
Jamal Charles kind of having an okay year. He had a slow start. Matt Stafford, he's very wishy-washy. Pierre Garçon, turning it on with Colt McCoy at quarterback.
Big Colt.
You're wearing the Colt McCoy jersey. I didn't even notice that.
That's Brady Quinn.
It's the one that sucked before McCoy.
It's really sad when your top 2 receivers are Pierre Garçon and Mike Wallace. His top 2 receivers, Pierre Garçon and Mike Wallace. Just not a good draft from James. Just another aspect of his life where he just fell short. I kind of feel sorry for him, so I gave him a D+. I gave him a D+. Oh, James is over there. I thought he was back there eating spaghetti. James is D+ with me. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I'm going to go close to that with an F.
Whoa, is that the first F?
No,
Another
I
F.
gave
You
Joe
just
one
haven't asked
too.
me.
Oh, okay. I didn't give F's out, you dicks.
Oh, I
What
did.
about you, Nessen?
That bell curve really helped him. So you said he had terrible wide receivers.
Yes.
He's better. Both wide receivers are better than DeVault's wide receiver on his list.
Ouch.
His quarterback is playing without the best wide receiver in the league, which
Ouch.
if he comes back could be anything.
Yep.
Ouch.
Jamal Charles has really only played 3 games.
Ouch.
Which means he's averaging 22 points a game, which if he gets a good head of steam rolling, he might win 1 more game. I gave him an F+. He's also had terrible luck on defense. It seems like every time he drops something, Jack picks him up and just goes right for it.
Wow, we just had like a 12 Angry Man segment here. I think I'm changing my vote now. DeVault, you gave him an F. You gave him a
F+.
F+.
He passed.
Now-
Barely.
So this F+ team is this an easy win for DeVault this week?
Yeah. Oh, hey, sorry. I wouldn't say an easy win, but I should win by 50.
50? Jeez. Wow. Do you even score that many points? You're not. You're not.
Son of a bitch!
Oh.
Assault!
Oh, it's a slobber knocker.
Close stop! Close stop!
Oh my God! Slobber knocker. Wow. You're like ninth in scoring, by the way. So I don't know how you're. Are you?
I was going to tell you why.
Okay.
Drew Brees is playing Green Bay. He goes off on Green Bay.
Green Bay.
Yeah. So Drew Brees is going to put up 40 himself. I clearly win for Dog Pound.
Yeah, I see an easy win for Dog Pound, going to 6-2. What do you think, Nessen?
I got the upset.
Woo! Yeah. Another upset special.
Yeah, the strangely enough, Detroit is the best defense this year, scoring defense, and that's where Roddy White, his best wide receiver, will be playing. The San Diego Chargers don't give up points to the tight end. They have athletic linebackers that can cover, and Drew Brees is, I think, playing in Green Bay, where he doesn't
Green
do so
Bay.
good. I think
Blue
he's not
Green
going
Bay.
this year, and it's pretty chilly already. I got James winning on Monday night by 11.5 points.
Wow. 11.5 points. Awesome. All right, well, that was every team. I'd like to congratulate you all for actually keeping your lineups current and active. Oh, yes.
Oh,
The waiver wire. Eric DeVault actually demanded to be on the show before we close out. You have some grievances with this year's waiver wire?
I think the waiver wire is stupid. It sucks. It needs to go, and anybody who likes it is just a big asshole, and they shouldn't even be playing. There we go.
Full of hot air. It's a fair and
That's
equal
it.
system.
That's all I got to say about that.
Well, according to the voting, they're a majority of the league are assholes, which doesn't surprise me at all.
And the question about that is?
League of Extraordinary Assholes.
We might have to change the name. All right, well, thank you guys for coming on. Thank you, Nessen. We'll have to do our own segment with Nessen doesn't know shit about shit. Solely based on your prediction for the tight end situation in San Diego. It's completely the opposite of what you said at the draft all day.
Oh, yeah. Who saw that coming? Somebody wants to go in the record books before he retires.
All righty, well, that's it for tonight. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next week. Tune in for LEG TV Week 8.
Good night and good luck.